Hey guys, it's Teatime here and welcome to a brand new speed build, another one in Realm of Magic, this time actually in the Realm of Magic. That's right, we are renovating or completely rebuilding, we should say, the Magic headquarters. Yes, finally, boy oh boy, this was not a great building. Some of it was really nicely designed, but then it's like, it's kind of really boring. It's like the only building, like actual lot in the Realm of Magic, and it is a bore. So I thought I would make it more interesting, and particularly, I guess, I wanted to make the sages sort of more personal areas with just that, a bit more personal, a bit more in their, I guess, field of magic. So that's what I did. Yeah, anyway, we are starting off with a build, and I'm basically just making a basic shaped shell. In this build, I do only use base game and Realm of Magic, so if those are the only two packs you have, it's completely accessible to you. You will just have to move objects on before you place it, because there is a lot of world debug items and items that are shifted here and there, so make sure you do that. But I really love this. This is going to be in my Magic LP, just because I couldn't handle the other one, and if I can't handle a community lot while I'm playing, I change it. I don't know, do you guys do that too, or do you just put up with what's there? If I get annoyed enough at a lot, I will alter it. It's just so many lots are completely useless in The Sims. Also, here's the thing, right? I don't know if you agree, but cafes, all right? Do you find them useful? I really love the idea of them, but I just find that the counters get really, really full of people, and it's like everybody's queuing to eat consistently, and it just feels really bizarre, like it's a middle of the workday and everyone's rushing out to get their lunch or something, and that's sort of how it feels to me. Anyway, there's a few lots like that that just don't seem programmed properly at the moment, or not built really well, I guess, for the demand that Sims has sort of changed to have, I guess, in terms of Sims and where they go and what they want. Anyway, for this build, I really wanted to do a few strange shapes, I guess. So a couple of dome-type roofs and some turrets. And yeah, just this and that kind of shape with a little bit of the original feel, I guess, the original build had, I guess. So here I'm trying to make some turrets that I do pop up on this other sort of side section, and put a little roof all the way up there. And yeah, I think I really like how the shape of this place turned out. It's very bizarre. There's a very good chance I would do it different if I did it again, because honestly, I think a lot of this build and the shape of the place was actually a complete fluke. Like, I just put stuff together and sort of hoped it was okay. I did have a sort of a plan in my head, but I just am not a great planner, guys, when it comes to these things. I just shove stuff in places and hope it works well. And that's what I did. So as usual, I'm flip-flopping around the place trying to make things work. But this is one thing I really love right here. These two turrets coming out of the side of the build there, and the garden that's attached. I did the garden basically to sit next to two particular sages. So over in that direction, the practical sage is there, and they do look out directly onto the garden, which is really sweet. I think it's nice because in practical magic, there's a lot of things to do with gardening and cleaning, and I just thought it was nice if they were quite near to kitchen, dining, garden, sort of places they might be needed in that sense. For the power sage, you will see I end up putting them upstairs a little bit. I thought something like Untamed Magic felt to me like power magic, like wanting to be on top of everything and sort of dominate the field, I guess. And so I thought it was really appropriate for that sim, who is currently Morgan, who is a gorgeous, gorgeous sim. Yeah, I thought it was appropriate for them to be just a bit higher so they could oversee, especially because they do get a good view of, I guess, what I would call the dueling pit. which was very much heavily inspired by what the Sims team had already created. You will see it's a little sunken area. The Mischief Sage, they are over the other side again. You will see me do soon. Yeah, that area is behind a wall. It's a bit more hidden and it's a little bit more secretive, which I think is really appropriate for that sage as well. So I did put a bit of thought into just this place here is where they go. I did put a bit more thought into, I guess, what I wanted them to do. I thought there was a couple of really nice things to do with the sages in the original build. Particularly, I really loved that I think the untamed sage upstairs had a beautiful garden, but I thought that actually suited the practical sage better. And the practical sage's area, I actually couldn't figure out where it was for ages in the original build. And then I was like, oh, this is the third cauldron that's a bit more fancy. This must be the area. But it just looked like another side area to me, and it was really disappointing. I don't know. Like, I know that the people who make this game do love the game. But sometimes I don't know. They should maybe get different people doing different jobs, but I don't know. I don't run the place. I don't really know what I'm talking about, except that I know that sometimes the product we get is not quite right. Yeah. On that note, actually, what do you guys think about University coming out? Coming out so soon. Yeah, I mean, my opinion, probably a little unpopular. I think it's too soon. I am worried about the quality that we're going to get for the, I guess, the expectation a lot of people will have. And I think that there will be a lot of disappointed people, even if it's a good pack, because there's so many people like emotionally attached to this concept. Me personally, honestly, I'm in Australia. The idea of going to college and living with your friends and the whole lifestyle is just a little bit less common here. Often you're hanging out with your parents still, or maybe you get a share house with your friends, but it's not necessarily on campus or anything. And that's sort of, it's actually quite a foreign concept to some Aussies. And so I guess in terms of me, I've never really been overly excited about the university packs. The biggest excitement for me was in, I think, Sims 2. I could have been 3. I honestly can't remember. Where they introduced the band, right? Oh no, it's Sims 2. Or maybe it was 3. I don't know. Someone can tell me down below, if you're a long time player, let me know what pack this was in. But it was in the university pack for 2 or 3, and it was a band. And you had the drums, the bass, the keys, the guitar. It was basically a full sort of basic rock band set. And when your Sims played, they could play with other Sims. So if I started off like with a Sim on the guitar, I could grab another Sim and put them on the drums, and they would actually play a song together, which is something we're missing now. I really, really, really wish Sims could play together. Imagine that. Oh, that'd be great. That's something I really miss. And honestly, that was my favorite thing about that university pack, whichever one it was. Let me know, I guess, what you're thinking about that down below, and what your expectations are. I hope they're not too high. Unfortunately, I guess disappointments does come hand in hand with some Sims things, which I wish wasn't the case, but I'm just being realistic, I guess. Anyway, we are working on the little garden that I was talking about before, right next to that little open balcony area where the practical sage does sort of hang out. I'm not sure if the sages will hang out in those areas. I did a bit of a play testing, and they sort of went to their areas. I don't know what actually tells them to go there. I know in one of the live streams, the gurus were saying that the sages would be roughly in those areas. There was some coding to do that, but I don't know exactly what triggers that. So I'm hoping that having cauldrons sort of in their color and whatnot, maybe that swatch triggers something. I don't know. It's very unlikely. Or maybe having them roughly in the same-ish sort of areas might help. So far, the Mischief Sage has gone to their area, but the others I'm yet to see. But in terms of the build, the usability is fantastic. There are definitely people moving around, using items, going places, and going and talking to the sages. And upstairs, I put a couple of chess tables because I thought that was quite appropriate. And there are people going up there. So people are using things. I didn't really put computers into my little study room, which I do. I do have a little study room. It's one of my favorite rooms, actually. I'd probably put a laptop or something in there if I were you. I know that with a couple of the perks that you get in your little perk list where you're building up your little sim, there's something to do with gaining skills when they're on the computer, and something else I can't remember. So it being magic, I guess, does not exclude being tech kind of lover, which is nice. Those things going together. It'd be fun to make a mage that was sort of based around technology and sort of see what you can do there. Use zip, zap, and repair and things like that, and do your research on the computer. I'd love to see what sort of builds, I guess, people make. I don't know if you think of a build in The Sims. I don't know if you play something like Dungeons and Dragons or certain shooter games and things like that. There's builds for your character, and you sort of build them up a certain way so they act and fight a particular way that you like. So I guess it would be fun to try and do that in Sims. Which this is probably one of the first packs, apart from maybe Vampires, that has that sort of concept. You know what? It'd be fun. I wish we actually had that perk sort of board for just normal Sims. I wish we had that. So you could sort of develop your Sim. I know you can give them extra traits and things and buy that with their aspiration points, but I feel like aspiration points is such an old thing now. I feel like it really needs to be updated to some kind of... I'd love to build a Sim, from the ground up. I give them the basic stuff and then really build them, rather than just building them a nice house and getting them a bunch of cash and a few extra traits and maybe a relationship. I'd love to really, really build their character. I think that would be the way to go in the future, is that real character building. I'm just repeating myself now, aren't I? But I guess that's one thing I'm really passionate about, and one thing I think is definitely missing. You know what else is missing? Bug fixes. We need more bug fixes. Oh my goodness, my game is so bugged. My Sims pick up books and then walk from A to B to A to C to D to B, put the book down, go to the bathroom, and then go to the place I told them to go. And it takes them a couple of hours, and it's just really frustrating. But is your game doing that? Let me know what kind of bugs you're coming across if you do have Realm of Magic. I'm curious to know if mine are common, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. But I am just coming into decorating the sage areas now. So we are in the practical sage zone. There's a lot of blue and green and a few peachy tones as well in this area. I had to change those curtains. Sort of wish I'd kept them blue. I think blue would have gone really well, but I do change to these neutral tones using warm woods, and I do change the floor as well to reflect that. I think after a while, I can't remember when I do it, but I do change them all to the Realm of Magic wooden flooring, which I think looks really nice. There are actually 4 bathrooms in this build as opposed to the one and I'm not sure amount in the original build. It was so hard to find a bathroom, I'm sorry, but it really was. So they've got a shower and a sink and a toilet, so they're kind of fully equipped bathroom, which is sort of meant to go a little bit with a little dorm space that I have made. So there's 6 beds in this build. If you want to essentially come to the Realm of Magic and stay here, you can. I haven't put anything from cats and dogs in because I did restrict the build, like I said, to Realm of Magic and base game. So if you do have a cat familiar or something like that, which my sim sort of does, you can come back in and add those items and you can stay here as long as you want. I think it will actually work. I haven't really tested it. Do let me know if you have tried and it is working or isn't. But here I am trying to make a kitchen, and I do a bit of work on it before I decide to completely move it. And I honestly can't remember how much of that process I've left in. But yes, we're going back to the sage areas. So I do move this around and close it off a lot, because right now it's really open and really communal, and I feel like the Mischief Sage that's not quite what I wanted to go for. And I also wanted to make on the other side of the wall that I do put up, I guess a like a potions class sort of area. So I wanted to make a couple of spaces where, I mean, people could sit down and chat, and maybe they do run classes now and then for something. And so yeah, on the other side of this wall, I'm trying to make a sitting place right now, but I do change that into a potions area where there's about 3 big cauldrons to use. But you've also got the 3 sages ones as well. So there's 6 in total, I think, in the build, and I think that's quite good. It seems like there's enough for people to use. Yeah, just trying the build out. You can see I'm sort of starting to separate that area. I do separate even more. I put in some of those new arches, those doorway arches that came with Realm of Magic are absolutely gorgeous. They're actually absolutely gorgeous. I'm actually finding that this pack goes actually really well with base game. I mean, there's more items I'd really like hanging lights and things like that. You can see I'm pretty much using the 2 I like, which is one from Realm of Magic and one from base game. There's definitely a lot of things missing. Curtains is another one, except thankfully the Realm of Magic ones are awesome. But you can get this kind of style really nicely with base game and Realm of Magic. And yeah, anyway, here's me attempting some curtains. Those are all base game curtains, and I just couldn't figure out what I was doing. So I changed the lighting, and I do get rid of them in a sec. But here I am applying some of that flooring I was talking about and changing the wall. I do put in those. Yeah, here we go. Oh, that's just beautiful. Are they? Do you think they're gorgeous? I don't know if everyone agrees, but most people that I have heard from do love those doors. I don't know. Maybe you have a different opinion. There's nothing wrong with having a different opinion. Let us know and give me a good reason, I guess, why you think what you think. I won't judge. I just like hearing what people are thinking, I guess. But oh, I love that little table lamp, the little crystal, the floating crystal. So cute. Here I am mixing a new chair with 2 old base game chairs, and I just like this area. It's very cute, very sweet, quite feminine. In fact, all the areas are a little bit feminine, a little bit masculine in different ways, just because I wanted them to be kind of neutral with beautiful natural tones in a lot of places. But yes, so there is a little bit of a softer look to the Mischief area with the pops of purple and pink, which do suit quite well. And yeah, most of the common area I do end up making more of a blue palette. I change the couches and the curtains and things like that. So it does sort of look a little brighter and richer. Richer is sort of what I was going for. As you can see, the outside of the build is quite dark. I actually do change, not in the video, but before the screenshots, I change that dark brick into, I guess, the same type of brick, but in a slightly warmer color, slightly more red, and I changed the roofing again also to something slightly warmer. So the whole thing's got a little bit more of a friendlier feel. It's very subtle, but I think it does work quite well. The Realm of Magic does have a very strange lighting. It's very dark and dim and very blue, so it makes things look colder in color. So it's very good to use a lot of warm colors if you want something to look richer and more inviting, I guess, would be my tip. But honestly, it does suit dark. I just found the original build too dark. As usual, Sims does not put in enough lighting. I think that's partially because the lighting does take away from performance for people who don't have a higher-end machine, and it's completely fair, but you do notice it, and I often add extra lighting to what they have done. I just have to. I always change things. I just have to, yeah. I don't know if you're the same as me, but here I am making this area for Morgan, or whoever, I guess, is the sage after them. It is red, because red to me says power and untamed, and yeah, and the cauldron, I guess, with the little rune on it was red, and I thought that was really appropriate. But also yellow, orange, bright blues, things like that, I think would be really great as well, or strong white. I feel like white can be a real statement if you use it right. It says clean and powerful. And yeah, but I do go with red. I think red is warm, a little bit more aged, which I feel suits this area quite well, considering the realm has been here for a while and is falling apart, essentially. but I do use that. Is that base game? Yes, that's base game wallpaper, and I think it actually is really nice. I think it's one of the more subtle ones with the nice rich wooden paneling, and that sort of pattern on it is quite subtle. I think it's actually really nice, and I don't know if I've noticed it before, honestly. Sometimes it's nice when you restrict yourself to packs. You see things you haven't seen before because you find yourself going to defaults. I don't know if you're the same. I quite often find myself going to the same items over and over again, and so when I restrict myself like this, it is awesome to find what's actually here, or I guess how much you appreciate as well some other things that you now can't get access to. It makes you appreciate what's in the packs, whether it's finding them for the first time or missing them all over again. Definitely worth doing. If you like building or even have trouble building, I think it's a really good way to challenge yourself and learn. I know that restricting packs, look, if you're not a great builder, and you do have a lot of packs actually for something like gameplay, do limit the packs, I reckon, because I think it does, it changes how your brain works. You have to sort of figure things out, and I think it actually helps you learn quite a bit faster. That's my opinion. I don't know if you agree or not, but I don't care. You can try it if you want. Now here I am, I just found these sort of candlestick type lamps to put in all the sage areas, some little whatchamacallums as well. What are those? Chairs, and putting in chess tables with those beautiful rich blue chairs as well. And I'm putting plants at the front. I couldn't figure out what to do here, so I put in trees. Tall, beautiful trees sized down, and I do end up putting quite a few outside as well. So I'm using this little thin one, and you can see it up on the second level. And this is actually the room where I'm going to put the little study area. I think it can also be used for maybe holding a class or something like that, which I was really going for the feel of something that felt a little bit like a college or something like that. You could live in, you could have classes, or you could just come in casually and have a chat and do some research. Something that felt a little bit like a public library meets dorms and things like that. And I feel like I actually got the feel of that quite well, and I was really happy with how those sort of areas turned up. Now here's something I'm less happy with, because I found it so hard to do, and I'd forgotten to put this in, and I didn't want to put the portals in this build because I wasn't sure how they'd work in the actual realm. So I thought I'd try and do something interesting with stairs, and this is sort of what I came up with. It was this, but the thing I don't particularly like about it is that it restricts that walkway down the bottom quite a bit. But Sims can get into the room behind, which does end up actually being the dormitory, so it is usable, absolutely. I tested that. It looks awesome, and it also looks strange, and I'm not sure. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if I like it or not. So do let me know down below what you actually think of the stairs and the area around it, and is it too close and cluttered? And I don't know, I could change in the future. I could very easily put a portal there and directly above, but I just didn't, and I wanted to try the stairs because I'm still playing with the new stairs because my computer was breaking so much that I didn't really get a lot of a chance to play with stairs when it first came out. Speaking of that, I've got a new computer. Not yet. I'm doing all of this on my old computer. It is holding together and it took me much longer to make this video than it usually would because it was stopping and starting and it was jumping around the place and it was struggling. But I have done it, and I am sort of in the process of moving files across to the new computer, and it's such a nice new computer because my husband and my father-in-law are crazy and amazing. So I'm super, super, super happy about that. Thank you guys for being patient when I haven't really been posting things. This computer has been struggling and stopping at some points and just not functioning, and I thought I'd lost a lot of data at one point, and thankfully I've got a lot of stuff still, and I'm feeling super encouraged and super hyped to keep going, and I love it. Man, guys, I love building and I love playing Sims and I love you guys, and it's just I just want to say thank you for, I guess, hanging around and watching my videos. It's just so wonderful, and each one of you is a huge encouragement, whether you know it or not. Any little number or comment or anything that pops up every little like, everything like that. I just see you guys, and yeah, every single one of you is important to me. So yeah, don't underestimate the power you have, I guess, when it comes to encouraging YouTubers and encouraging each other. Yeah, which makes me think that I should actually get on and like more videos as well for other people. Should take my own advice, shouldn't I? I'm really bad at that, and I'm sorry if you are a YouTuber and you watch me regularly and I don't watch you regularly. I really want to. It's really hard. I don't have a lot of time as it is. I'm struggling, but it's not necessarily an excuse, and I'm going to keep trying. And yeah, feel free to pull me up on it. But I am just making my little this study area here. Like I said, I love it. I do end up using one of the Realm of Magic wallpapers, the one with the sort of corner pieces. As you can see there, this color is almost creamy. It's not quite white, and it looks so good with all the actual Realm of Magic furniture. This room just looks good. So it feels nice sort of using this stuff, I guess, how it should be used. This room is probably my favorite in the whole area. I also really admit I love the practical sage area and the garden, but some of those are not necessarily Realm of Magic items, especially in the garden. That's a lot of that's debug stuff from base game. But yeah, it does look really good. And this flooring is from base game. I don't know why I've never done this, but that dark red with these creamy walls and the rich colored furniture and the blue, it's just like the whole package. This room just really worked, in my opinion. And it's totally going to get my sim going and doing some work in here. And yeah, super excited to sort of play with everything, I guess. But yeah, I feel like that worked particularly well on top of everything else. And yeah, just throwing in a couple of mirrors for the fun of it. We are working on the bathroom now. Again, using that red tile. It just looks nice everywhere. It looks like sort of terracotta bricks or something in a little crosshatchy pattern, or I don't know, I'm just saying words now. This is like one of the longest voiceovers I've done in a while. Yeah, I am mostly a not social type person, and so I don't actually talk that often. So here I am talking for like half an hour, and my jaw is like seizing up. It's so funny. I'm like, I can't move it properly. Yeah, I need to do like jaw exercises. Anyway, we're grabbing debug items now just to finish things off. These crystals, I thought it was a really nice touch. Maybe they've grown out of the building as the realm's been falling apart, or maybe they're to help stabilize. I don't know. You can use your imagination, but they're cute, and I just thought I'd place all the colors because why not? But you can change that if you want by going into the debug mode yourself. But just placing little lights. I do place little mushrooms as well. And I'm pretty sure I actually do get rid of all the random windows that are just lying around on the ground at some point as well before I do upload. And yeah, we're just finishing up, I guess, decorating this place with a few more of those debug items. Like I said, got some brooms. They look beautiful on the walls. They do look like torches, and I thought I would add a nice little pop of that orange color. But anyway, guys, we are coming to an end now, so yeah, do comment down below, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy the screenshots, and like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.